Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday, everybody. Today is November the 7th, and I am Keisha. Wow, you okay, Jay?
Yeah, it got me.
Man, I look crazy. No, so I am Keisha. I'm one half of the host of the Regal Mindset Podcast show. And before I turn it over to you, I just want to say happy heavenly birthday to my mother. She passed away a couple years ago, but today she would have been 67. So I wanted to say that, make sure I said that. Go ahead,
Happy
Jay.
heavenly birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I am Dr. Joy, the coach, and I'm the other half of Regal Mindset. And listen, we're conflicted today.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah,
And it feels like a good part of these United States, aside from this good old government shutdown, is conflicted as well. But I think this conversation is deserving to have. It does involve our community, the LGBT alphabet community. But I also think that it's important to continue the conversation because it affects people that, of course, we know. As well as people who are not in the LGBTQ community. So we're talking about the rights in conflict. When
right.
people who have rights, transgender people have rights, straight people, well, they don't even call them straight rights, right? That's just
They
crazy.
just got rights.
Right. Yeah, that's a whole nother show. But the people have rights, right? And so sometimes those rights conflict with other people who also have rights. And we're going to discuss and talk about what I'm sure you guys have seen on your timeline. I think it's Tish Hyman, as she experienced a transgender person entering the restroom as she was naked, as I understand it. And she confronted the gentleman, asking him why he was in there. He didn't give, from what I understand, a clear answer. And she was asked to, at some point, to leave, and her membership was then suspended because of the way she reacted or responded to this gentleman again coming into the women's restroom, and she just happened to be in there dressing or undressing in a nude state. So, Jay, you brought this to me. I know you've seen it on your timeline. What was your initial thoughts?
So my initial thoughts was, as anyone, the first thing they showed you was her screaming.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And so it upsets me because everyone is always trying to police our reactions. And that was the first thing I saw. Yeah. Everybody's trying to police her reaction. Then when I looked at the video, then I did more research on what was going on. I got infuriated because of the person. And then listening to a lot of commentary, especially in the community, and how divided it is because nobody wants to offend transgenders. And this is one of those particular cases where it makes the fight harder, in the political arena, because it proves their point on why men should be in men restroom, women should be in women restroom. It proves their point.
Does it?
Does
it though, you think?
Because they're stating women should be with women, men should be with men because of this type of scenario. You don't want to go in there and there's a physical biological man that says he's a woman in there with, and they always putting out little girls and things like that.
Yeah.
So it proves their point on why it should remain separated and that it should be on a biological separation. It proves their point. It takes away our strength to say the community, our transgender sisters and brothers don't operate like that. So it takes away that fight because now there's Black content creators and white content creators. The white content creators that I've seen, I would say a handful of them is on his side. And I'm not misgendering him. You can take how you want to. When you see the video, you'll understand. But then there's a good collective that's on Tisha's side.
Yeah.
Then I seen some Black content creators, transgender, that has a problem with Tish and made it very vocal. They got a problem with her because of they're saying she's transphobic. You're not thinking in the fact of what happened. You're calling her transphobic because of what she said.
Okay.
But then we look at on the business side, the business protected him. So it's a lot of conflict. It's a lot of rights that are being violated. No one wants anyone to feel uncomfortable, but all of us have to be responsible on how people interact with us, and especially in those type spaces.
Right.
Let's be honest. I went into the restroom before. You see all of these hips and breasts and everything, and they still look like I'm not supposed to be there.
Yeah. Same here.
So we've all been in that scenario where they look at you as if you're not supposed to be here.
Yeah. Misgendered. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, I know I'm supposed to be here because I know what I got.
Okay.
And so for people that looks like us, that there's no way you can say we're not genetically female.
Sure.
And we still get it. I know it's harder for those that may not be passable. And he's not passable at all. He's not even trying.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a
and
great
I would
point.
say, and I saw this on is it Funky Deniva?
Yeah, he died in Neva.
And he made the statement. He was like, realistically, those that are truly transgendering, they don't want this type of fight. So they take the necessary steps to ensure that they're not provoking this type of situation.
Attention. Okay.
Right.
That makes sense.
So, but then there's, and I'm not trying to colorize it, but I am later.
Okay.
When you see certain white transgender, they push this narrative. The ones that go up to them, to the restaurants, that Lily guy, the one that was going around talking about, when you misgender me, it puts a dagger in my heart. He was on TikTok. I think I don't know what happened to him.
Okay.
But looking at him, other than the fact that you got on red lipstick and your hair is long, sir. Now we will say, hey, what is your name? And let's call you by your name.
Yeah.
But when people come, But if people and the people that he was going after never was like intentional. You could tell it wasn't even in their voice intentional. Then you had another one that got on there and said that they did a Tampax commercial.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Man. Yeah.
And you don't menstruate because you're non-binary. Seriously? Is that what it takes?
Right. Comes to the front of the class.
Exactly. It's like, wait a minute. Wait, hold on. So I should have just became non-binary?
Oh, man.
And that would have took away all of that for all of years?
Yeah.
So it to me, and from what I've seen and what I witnessed, on the color spectrum, it's the white ones that's pushing the narrative unfairly. You're not going to question T.S. Madison when she goes into the restroom, even though we know she still got it down there.
Yeah, she's vocal about it. Yeah.
Exactly, and it's like we just need to watch the video. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But when you saw the video, what was your thought?
So initially, like I said, I saw the image up and down my timeline, and this it just happened earlier this week, I believe it was, or they've been talking about it earlier this week, and so I just visually saw a Black woman, and she has a nice body. I will say that,
she cut all the way up.
You know, I will say no homo, but listen, I'm just stating a fact. She has a really nice body, so I can appreciate the fact that she's at the gym doing what she needs to do. I wish I had the discipline. Or I should say I'm working on the discipline. Let me say that. Now, so I saw her image up and down my timeline, but it didn't interest me in the sense that, you know, it just looked like she was yelling. I couldn't even hear what I didn't even click on it, right? Mm-hmm. It had no interest for me, right? But when you sent it to me, I said, okay, well, let me, see what's going on. And I understood that she was in the bathroom, and she explains it. She was like, hey, I was getting dressed. I was new. This person comes in, this gentleman who has a big package, and he's talking to me. And whatever he said to her after she asked why he was in there,
he pretty much cussed her out.
Yeah, and it didn't sit well with her. And I get that, right? And then she excused herself, or at some point she walked out, and she was loud and obnoxious, right? So there's some parts of it that, did she have to do that? I don't know. I wasn't there. Maybe that was the best way that she felt like she could address the situation and the things that happened to her afterwards. So that makes sense to me now. But I was floored that, one, apparently the Gold's Gym was just recently purchased by another company who
EOS. Ain't that so convenient?
Well, of course. And you know what? Who's to say that it wasn't planted? I'm not. Right. I was born a couple weeks ago. Right. So my point in saying that, we don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but I will say that I think that the way that things happen now makes sense to me as to why she was yelling, why she's upset. And what I don't understand is why more people aren't necessarily coming to her defense. Now, where I differ from your opinion is that I don't know that it gives them the right, or it leans in the way that it proves their point in terms of separate bathrooms. What I will say is the world is changing and has evolved. We have to do the same. And one way that we could do that is revisit how our public restrooms are set up. This is a public gym, much like airports, much like other places that we visit. There's some establishments have created a unisex bathroom. Some have created a different method in which, you can use the restroom that seems to work. We have to revisit that, right? Because who am I to say that, if you identify as a woman, I don't want to argue with you. I just want to, give you the respect that you deserve as a person. Period, point blank. You are a person, and you as a person, a human, has identified and want to be recognized as this sex. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about that. So let's go ahead and play the video, and then we can continue talking about it, and we'll go from there.
Right.
Okay.
Men with big dicks in the women's locker room. When a man in the restroom, when I'm naked, there are girls naked in there. Look at them walking in there like it's okay. It's not okay. Me naked in front of a man without my permission. But I ain't the one who gets kicked out the gym, y'all. I'm terminated for not wanting men in the locker room.
There you go.
So I feel that, going to your point about how everything needs to evolve.
Yeah.
Much as they pay for their membership, a notice should have went out, and a notice should be posted. Our restrooms are inclusive.
Okay.
If that bothers you, maybe this is not the gym for you, because we support inclusivity.
Mm-hmm.
Have that conversation. Allow the person that's paying you every month to make that decision. But for your privacy, we've got partition showers. We have this space for your privacy. In the event there's a situation that makes you uncomfortable, our staff is trained to handle it. Now, if that would have been something that was in place to say, hey, because what it looks like is, and it may cause an issue in the future, but what it looks like is no different than when we go in the store and they're going to automatically think, or there's an altercation. Who do you think they're going to come to first? Us. Because they think we're the center of the altercation. So we already know that stigma is there. So then they would need to understand where the stigma lies as well. And say, okay, sir, because you saw him, he wasn't twitching. He's a man. I don't care how much lip gloss and earrings he have on. He is a born male. He exists as a man regardless. And I'm going to tell you why I stand on that.
Sure.
One, he's a convicted felon for serious domestic violence. He hasn't even changed his name. His name is Grant Freeman, but he goes by and drum roll, his ex's name, which is Alexis Freeman. So he's using her name in the streets. Legally, he's still Grant Freeman. So, sir, no, absolutely not. And I know that we're not doing background checks on everybody in all those cases, but as a business owner, hey, this is the new climate. If one of our members come to you, say, hey, I don't feel comfortable. There is a gentleman in the women's restroom that I feel is violating the exclusivity rule here.
Absolutely.
Then they should go and handle it, see what's going on, and handle it from there. But to me, that situation was never existed in this gym.
Yeah.
So for her, now that we're after the situation, because it was another video where they was by the restroom. Nobody's asked her what was going on. They asked him. That's that white privilege.
I see what you're saying now.
Him. And the lady, one of the workers there, because I saw her shirt, when a man from the gym got in old dude's face, the lady from the gym was on the phone and she got between them, pushing the man off of him. Now you hear other women in the background telling me, yeah, he was in there, but it was still Tish against America.
Yeah.
Nobody looked at the fact that, sir, come on now. And then you turn your high button self around and walk right back in there like, this is my home. And for Tish, you got to leave. So again, in America, every Black person is pretty much judged off of behavior. In school, they don't look at our academics, they look at our behavior because they want to focus on you being bad, you doing this, you that. And it exists everywhere. But right now it's not a transphobic thing, because some of them content creators that are transgender themselves talking about she's being transphobic. No, that was at the end, that her, as she's getting revoked out of the system, she's doing the extra stuff. But in the beginning, she wasn't. In the beginning, before she even put out her camera, she said, I came out like out of the shower, butt naked, which is typical in the gym.
Yeah.
He got his thing out. You intentionally did this. It's not like you was coming out the shower. You just walk around with your balls out.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
So it's like, where are we going to draw the line and not being afraid of saying this is not a transphobic moment? This is he a butthole, he need to go to jail moment.
Right.
Because in any other case, that would have been lewd and lascivious acts. That would have been indecent exposure in any other spaces. What if he was outside in the park doing hot yoga in the women's yoga and pulled his junk out?
Yeah.
It would have been indecent exposure.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with everything that you said. And here's the other thing to that. Was she within her rights? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. The caveat to that is that if he actually is, and who are we to know, right? How would she know that he's identifying as trans, right? Because they also have rights. We said that at the beginning of the show. When those rights of one group of people collide with the other person's, where do we find a happy medium? How do we find a happy medium? One solution, as you said, is the company, the business, who, in my opinion, have a bulk of the responsibility here, right? Because they provide the establishment. They have to create a tone much different than what they have now, right? From what I read and what I saw, this is a pattern that they have in terms of not necessarily clarifying, who can go in what bathroom, right? They don't have any guidance on that, and they've had other legal issues concerning the same thing,
right?
With that being said, right? So right now, again, we have establishment, we have businesses who have made differences and have made changes. So the bulk of the ownership, again, I believe belongs to them and how they choose to move forward. What I hate and what I dislike is that the business tried to vilify both her in this whole situation in terms of making her feel as though her rights are less important because maybe perhaps they don't want to offend, as you say, the transgender community, right? Who also has rights. So how do we find that happy medium?
I think, and I feel that would be the responsibility of the business owner.
Okay.
To establish those rules.
Sure.
Because if you're not going to support your state's legislation that says transgenders have equal space in these restrooms, if you're not, because by private business, you don't have to.
Okay.
So if you say, well, no, we're inclusive, we want to make sure that they have their own space and they feel welcome in any space that they choose to go in, you still have to establish rules behind that.
Right.
Because then if not, you have this situation here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is your space too. But what I'm asking you is to be respectful in the space. Just as I would ask for her to be respectful in the space. Maybe we need to stop everybody walking around butt naked. Because who would that offend? You can't walk, make sure you're robed.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but here's my thought. Let's play devil's advocate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Say, for example, in some life I was straight, right? And I walk into a restroom or a gym, or same situation. I walk into a gym, and there's a person who is the lesbian. That's who she is. I may feel uncomfortable, and her vice versa. So what happens there? I mean, removing the ability to walk around in your own comfort within a safe space, I don't know that that's the answer. Does that make sense?
But it's not their space. So then they really can't claim it to be safe space. We made it an inclusive
in a women's restroom?
In a women's restroom, that's still public. It's not your bathroom.
Gotcha. I gotcha.
So my thing is, there still has to be some established rules.
Gotcha.
When you're in your home, walking around butt naked, that's something different.
Yes.
But when I go to an establishment, whether I pay a fee to go there or not, there are certain rules that has to be established because we can't leave common sense to people to think because they don't have common sense. True. So yes, I'm not saying a woman go here, a man go here. What I'm saying is, if you are identifying as a woman and you want to use the women's restroom, then we're going to make it a rule that everybody has to walk around with a robe or clothes.
I got you.
Because that was what she was yelling.
Yeah.
She was butt naked. He's staring at her and he's butt naked. I would feel some type of way too.
Yeah.
So since we got inclusive bathrooms, everybody know where the showers are. You have to have on a robe. You can get one from the front desk or you need to bring your own. There's lockers in there.
Yeah.
You have to be dressed. Now, if somebody come in there and say, hey, there's somebody walking around undressed, you've been where you don't put your underwear on up under the towel before. What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
This is not a bathhouse.
Right.
So and then what if it was an emergency? Because I used to run LA Fitness. That's who I really thought it was. I was ready to go in on them, but it's gold. When I was the operation manager at LA Fitness, there were rules. Because one, we had children in there. So it's just certain things you can't do.
Yeah.
Children can go in there. They never said children not allowed. So if I would have had my 5-year-old in there,
man,
so we just got out the pool because at LA Fitnesses, there's pools there.
Yeah.
So they got out the pool. And let me give you a visual. When you walk through the front door, you go to the back, you got one to go to the man, one go to the woman. There's no cameras past that entrance.
Okay.
It goes into the full bathroom. And then when you go out the back is where the pool at, steam room, sauna.
Okay.
So One, if you walking out of the pool, you don't walk through the gym to get to the bathroom. You go from the pool to the bathroom, which means you're going to dry off, do whatever you do, jump into the shower thing. But then if I come in there, and they used to bring children, we used to have classes where they had the adults with disabilities used to come up there. They got dance class with old people, everything. It's the demographic is too large to sit here and try to police everything. So make it a general rule. Don't walk around naked. Then we wouldn't have had, he saw me naked, his balls out.
Yeah, I get that.
And then what would have happened if it was up in the air? Now you aroused, it's out, I'm naked, it's too much.
Yeah, yeah.
So how can we stop that without taking away your freedom in it? Put on some clothes. Everybody's required to have on some form of clothing.
Right, right. I get that as being a workaround. I don't know that that's a overall solution. Again, I just think that the company or the business or establishment has to set some sort of climate or tone, right? And also be respectful, right? Because again, gender community has rights. And now where it's unclear for me, and it's just because I'm not within that community, I don't know if they have the right to both bathrooms, or they have to, I don't know that. I don't know. It's kind of a gray area for me, but I do know that they have rights, right? Versus just, it being a men and women's restroom. I will say that I think that they just have to go back and revisit that. And a part of the reason why we're having this conversation is because we're going to be out, for the balance of this year as well as next year. And it may have already happened. You and I have both had experiences where we have been misgendered in terms of being in a public restroom. And most times the other person is, my experience was kind of haphazardly sarcastic, Oh, did I go in the wrong restroom? I don't know. Did you? Let me go.
I'm cussing them the hell out. What the fuck you looking at me for?
But hey, so there is a way in terms of you can correct someone, respectfully. But in this situation, like, I would hate for this to be an ongoing thing where people try and test the waters.
It's going to be
for clickbait, just for conversation, just to, for whatever reason, right? That's what I don't want. That's what I hope doesn't happen. And I would hope that a trans person thinking, like, even having children in there, I didn't consider that, right? I don't want my grandkids in a space that I feel like if I'm in a women's restroom, I don't want a man to come in there with any packages just out.
Like UPS, what is you delivering today?
Right, exactly. Now, it would be a different story if I were in a family restroom, right? Because I often wonder, I'm like, how do parents take their little boys to the bathroom? I'm like, I didn't understand that. I really did not, until I had to take my eyes. I'm like, well, I know where I'm going. You're just gonna go in here. You just going, we're gonna do this real quick. So that part of the scenario did not occur to me, but I think you're absolutely right. And we have to do better as establishments, businesses, and then setting a tone. And then also the staff need to have training as well, right?
They need to be very well, they need to be trained.
Right. I agree.
I know when I hired staff, I hired kids because you was only working a couple of hours.
Right.
You ain't doing much. They wasn't paying them hardly anything. And they wanted the younger people there to draw that attention. That's what LA Fitness wanted.
Yeah.
So, so we hired young people that probably never even had a job before. It didn't matter. So, but going back to who else could have saw, what if 70, 80 something year old person, grandmother is in there, and he's in there with his leg up stretching and his dangling falling.
Yeah.
So it's again, that's generation ain't ready for that.
That's true.
So are you going to ban them if they cry out? Like, how does that, like, we can't count on humans to be human, first of all. So with that being said, there has to be established clear boundaries, because right now this young lady feels exposed. She feel unheard. She feel attacked because they revoked her membership. He walked his little flaunty behind back in that bathroom.
Yeah.
As if what?
I
And
did
that,
see.
huh?
I did see later on that they ended up suspending his membership as well.
They should have did it both at the same time.
I absolutely I agree with you. But again,
I
that
would have
goes
put
back to
both
the
of them out. I
climate
would
of
have brought both of them up and
business.
say, until
Yeah.
we figure this out, I
Yeah.
need both of you. Matter of fact, I'm just going to suspend it for 48 hours until we can pull the video footage, see what's going on,
Talk to
and
staff.
we'll send you a notice.
Yeah.
That would have
Absolutely.
been that. Because in Gold's Gym, they tried to pass it off, talking about, oh, it's no longer our staff. Your name is still on there.
Right.
Every time you bill my account, Gold's Gym is on there. You're responsible too. And that means if I would have suspended it in one system, it would have went across all Gold's Gym. So 48 hours, everybody, we're gonna hush this out, calm, let's all, because one thing as a Black person, I hate for you to tell me to calm down when I'm upset.
Yeah.
I hate that with I don't care who's saying it.
Yeah.
I don't like it when every time there's a situation, they try to tell us to just no, because they not going to sneak a hit on me. So you need to go back. You need to do it fairly or move out the way.
Yeah.
But I feel that it was handled very incorrectly.
Yeah.
Because you penalized her immediately without any recourse to him, even though it happened afterwards. That's not fair.
Yeah, I agree.
That's absolutely not fair. Not only did that happen, and then when she's yelling at the end, ain't nobody even paying her no bit of attention. Yeah. They didn't say, "Come." If I was there and I was the manager, come in the back and talk with me. Nobody's leaving this facility till we get this situated. Because I need you to know your value.
Yeah,
your voice is heard. But this is our incident report. I need you to complete it. I'm going to have him to complete one. I am going to let you know both of your access will be suspended for 48 hours until we complete our investigation. No one right now is in any trouble. It's going to be fair across the board. Because it's unfair that she's walking around. Now, I feel that she's really hurt. Because I see that he's not unbothered. He was on TMZ like this. Like ain't nothing happened.
Yeah.
And then now he's on Trans World with a bra on, stretching as if he's the victim. And this is where in my community, I'm extremely disappointed. Yeah. He's not the victim. He did that intentionally. He absolutely did that intentionally. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah. I agree. I think RSG Group, that's the company who has since bought Gold's Gym. And I think, like we said, they need to establish clear guidelines. They should also come forward and maybe they have, I just have not seen it, and apologize to her as well. In terms of how they handled the situation, right? And then there's some things that they can do to correct going forward. But how as a society, right, we're living in such a sensitive space. How can we define what is a safe space, right? I agree. A public place is not necessarily a safe space, right? But we all, we're all going to have to figure out how to commingle amongst one another. How do we define what is a safe space other than saying the comfort of our own home,
You have to establish rules because this is where people falter.
Okay.
What you consider an urgency is not an urgency to me. What could you consider a hurt may not be a hurt to me.
That's true. Yeah.
So you have situations where, in this instance, like say at work, let's say with the police.
Okay.
They quit to call the police for an inconvenience, but to them, it was a huge mountain of an inconvenience. So In order to avoid the false finger pointing, the false accusations, everything like that, let's establish what an emergency looks like. And I'm only using that as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Let's establish what safety looks like. Did that person assault you verbally or physically? If the answer is no, then it's not on the emergency list. And if everybody's following this rule, it will create consistency.
Okay.
If we need to put emergency buttons on the wall for you to feel safe, there's a silent alarm where if there's an emergency, like, okay, when I was at LA Fitness, I had a bad situation that happened where one of the members, she stayed in the sauna a little too long.
Oh, okay.
And
dangerously?
Oh, fatally.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, she cooked like a chicken in there. And yeah, it was bad. And that was the reason why I left LA Fitness, because I had to go through workman's comp. It was a big thing.
Oh, wow.
So, but the thing is, there was no safety button in there. Where somebody can hit a button that would alert the front desk that there's an emergency. They had to run all the way. Now, remember, I told you, you walk through the door.
Yeah.
Go through the bathrooms, then you go in the back. So they're on the back side of the building. People running in there. Joy, this lady, they say she died back there. So I'm call 911. I'm running, all these hips running in the back. There over 300 degrees in there because nobody turned it off.
Yeah.
She's glued to the chair.
Wow.
She fell asleep in there. We don't know how long she was in there. When I pulled cameras, she got in at 6 a.m. And this was after 1 o'clock by the time somebody come running out. My whole point is there's no safety buttons.
Gotcha.
You know how like on campuses, they got the phone or the blue light?
Emergencies, yeah.
Then if you want to make sure that people feel safe, then what you can do is put up safety monitor things up there and say this area is being monitored. We got cameras on it anyway. So if you feel unsafe where there's an attack or anything happening, somebody hit that button, front desk already know, boom, get out there.
Yeah.
So we create safety points, but then we have to continue to educate the members that are participating, whether it's an email that goes out. When they come to the front desk, did you hear our new announcement? Do you know that this has changed? Mm-hmm. This doesn't affect your membership. If they don't want to listen, give them that piece of paper. I notified you.
Yeah. Have them sign it before they check in.
It's on the thing. When they get ready to pay their next bill, it comes up. For like a month straight, I'm sending out the same notice. So you can't ever say, I did not know. Gotcha.
That makes sense.
And that as a business owner, when you have this type of incident, you have to take that step up and just say, well, it'll die out. It's a one-on-one. No, because the next retard that's going to come in there is going to try something because nobody knew that this guy had a violent history.
Right.
That he goes by his ex's name. That's weird.
Very.
So all it does is open up a door for it to happen again.
Yeah. Yeah.
As long as I'm clean shaved, as long as I got a little cutoff on, and because in one video he walking with his little back arch, you know, the typical walk.
Yeah.
And he prancing around and had on lip gloss. If that's what make you a woman, we really failed.
Hey.
Because I ain't putting that on and I ain't wearing that lip gloss.
Yeah, I stood in the wrong line, apparently.
Exactly. So I feel that right now, that Gold's Gym needs to own this.
Yes.
They need to rectify it with Tish, because you crucified her from the beginning.
So was it Goals who crucified her, or was it social media?
Goals,
the content creators.
Because they told her, they revoked her. That's when she started yelling.
Yes.
They revoked my membership.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Why was that the first thing they should go to? Why don't you try to de-escalate the situation? And if she's not calming down, that's something different. But given the fact that she's already on 100, and then you're going to add another hit on it, I'm at 2,000 at this point. And honestly, you wouldn't have to revoke my membership. I would have burnt it down. It would have been no more goals on Beverly.
Well, aside from that, so here's my next question, and I think I know your answer, but I'm gonna ask it anyway.
Mhm.
Does one class of people have a higher priority than over another class in terms of who do we honor most, or before we honor someone else? There's got to be some sort of
I'm gonna
hierarchy.
say
We can't make
yes.
everybody happy, you know.
I'm gonna say yes, but let me explain.
Okay.
Yes, because children should always come first. So
Okay.
that's one class of people. I'm gonna say yes across the board.
Okay. I agree.
In this particular situation, I don't think it's a class issue. I don't think it's a category or class issue.
Okay.
I don't see it as a transphobic situation.
Yeah.
I see it as a white and black.
Oh, really?
Because why did the white man get the attention and the privilege and the freedom, but the black woman got the crucifixion, the get out, and the stamp of unruly?
Gotcha.
That's my only way of seeing this.
Yeah.
I don't think because in the midst of them arguing the way they were in the back, she never called him out his name.
Mm-hmm.
There was no hate involved to classify this as a transphobic situation.
Right.
It was a disrespectful situation for him to be in that space with his balls out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Ain't nobody say you couldn't be there. It was with your balls out.
So let me ask you this. Do you think it'd be a different scenario if the woman was not LGBT, if she was a white woman who was straight?
Oh, yeah, he would have been arrested.
I'm leaning towards I agree with that.
He would have been arrested.
Yeah.
She would have had and I bet you it would have been at least 3 to 4 people in there taking up for her.
Yeah.
But if you look at Tish, you're thinking she could take up for herself.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if she was a little fragile, little bitty ball, that didn't look studly. You know, pretty girls, them tears go further than any other kind of tears.
Yeah.
It would have been a totally different story. He probably been locked up, because how many times has a white woman cried a tear that was not true and it worked in their favor?
You're absolutely right.
The only time it has not worked is this most recent situation with that boy who got off for doing everything he did to those 2 white girls.
Wait, what was
you
that?
Ain't see that one? The boy Jess Butler?
I don't think I've seen that one.
Girl, hold on one second, y'all.
Oh,
Let
man.
me tell you. So this boy, it happened when he was 17.
Okay.
Brutally attacked these girls. He damn near decapitated the way
Where
he
was
beat them.
this?
This is just happened like this week or something.
No, I mean, like, what state did it happen?
Oh, I got to find it. I'll pull it up.
Okay.
So what happened was he brutally attacked them. He did everything. When I say everything, he did everything. The mama heard him doing it to one of them. All she did was knock on the door. Are you okay? And walked out. Now they've been protesting and everything in Oklahoma.
What?
They've been protesting all week. Basically, he was supposed to get 80 years. They was going to try him as an adult. 80 years for the 2 girls.
Yeah.
The judge said, you know what? It was 17. He was 17 when it happened. So we're going to put him under a youthful offender. So all he got was 150 hours of community service, probation. He's not a registered sex offender. None of that. And so now they done called in the big dogs to go against the judge and everything. Because, again, this is the only time white tears didn't get what they was going to get, but he did. But he's a young white guy.
Yeah.
They got off. Nothing happened to this boy. And then he showed up with Randy Savage, Macho Man, Randy Savage glasses to court. That lets you further know he don't give a damn.
Yeah.
They got him on video on the Ring camera dragging the girl.
Yeah.
So
that
again,
is crazy to me.
In our climate, in America, we know certain voices are going to get heard over others.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Black women going to always be at the bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah, yeah. So I get why you receive it as a race issue. I get that. I would differ only in the sense that I do see it as a woman's issue, right? A woman's rights issue, in that, again, even though it's a public space, she has rights within those restrooms that says women, right?
Mhm.
And that was another
And
thing.
there was a woman on there. She had a little triangle
Right.
dress.
Right. Because I was expecting the restroom to say something different if he was just so cavalierly walking into the
Mhm.
restroom as if he belonged there. But anyway, I think that it was a woman's rights issue in terms of this person violated my safe space. Well, I'll say it's a safe space for right now, even though it's a public place. And you should not have done that, right? You should have had enough decorum about yourself to say, hey, I'm going to go in the men's restroom, whatever, and take care of what I need to take care of. But I think there was a sense of entitlement for him. Yes. Right.
Absolutely.
But I do also agree that if it were a young white woman who was not of masculine presenting, right? I think it would be a very different story.
A very different story.
And I think there would be a very different outcome, especially on social media.
I think it would have been as this impactful if he
Okay.
would have just put a towel on, not cussed her out for being indecent. Because if she in there screaming, "Hey, why are you in here?" He was like, "Hey, you know what? Let me put on my towel. I thought I was the only one in here, knowing good well there was other people in there." Like, I feel that if he would have been not rested in his entitlement and would have just put on the towel and say, "Hey, I do present. We're in the same community," because apparently she's a lesbian too.
Yeah.
We're in the same community. I do not give you any offense, and I do apologize.
Mhm.
It would have went a totally different way. But he cussed her out and said, he used the B word and said, I can be in this space just as well as you. So you antagonistic about it. I wouldn't have had to yell because I would have drug him across every towel in that bathroom. Because now you don't trigger me.
Yeah, yeah. I'm assuming the B word was not bulldagger.
Yeah, no.
Okay, the other B word. I got you.
It was the other word.
Yeah.
And so no, it's I hear it, and I know that I can somehow see it as a women's right issue if more people would have stood up. Because if the other women that was in that bathroom that was offended, because they're in the background, they were talking on one video, they was in the background talking, yeah, but nobody was up there at that front desk with them.
Right. And I'm interested to know what they thought
Exactly.
they thought in terms of their interaction, because I'm pretty sure if she was loud outside, she was loud inside.
And just not only that, the woman that worked there, she was on the side of him. Yeah. So again, women's rights, I feel it has to be more than one affected in this scenario.
Okay.
More than one have to be affected for it to be a true women's violation.
Okay.
I'm seeing color because of who it was and how it went down.
I got you.
Because if it was more than one woman that probably would have been standing up there, I think they probably would have handled it different. But it was a single Black woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
Here's another scenario. What if the gentleman were Black and he were trans?
Oh, he would have been shot.
But he passed. So are we still having the same argument if he's able to pass?
Because he's passable. If this white guy was passable,
yeah,
there's no argument, because I would have been like, now come on, Tish. He looks like a woman.
Okay.
Let's give him that.
Yeah.
He may not have reconstructive, but the ones that are like, you can look at them and not know and be like, okay, yeah, they still going through their transition.
Yeah. So you think it escalated because the package was just out swinging left, just out willy-nilly?
Yeah, they're playing baseball in the field, and you can't do that. I think it was that, and the level of disrespect and the level of entitlement.
Yeah.
That alone is what separates this and doesn't make it a hate situation. It's literally entitlement. I can do what I want.
Yeah.
What are you going to say? And we have proof that majority of the white transgenders are the ones that are antagonizing and purposely going into spaces to get that type of rise and attention.
Yeah, yeah.
They do it at restaurants. They do it across the board.
Yeah.
How many Black transgenders have you seen that go in a restaurant and the first time somebody said, "Sir," you stabbed me in my heart and turned it. Ain't nobody doing all of that.
Yeah.
They correct you. Now, if you don't take that correction, then you get drugged. That's something different.
Yeah.
But that was not the case here. And I feel if it was a Black man in the same scenario, that man would have been in jail and shot.
Yeah. So,
but if she was passable, I don't even think he would have been involved.
I agree with you.
Because it's one that does go there. It's one, he was homeless, and that's how he got his content. He was a homeless trans guy, and he would go to the gym. He had a gym membership so he could take his shower and stuff. And he lift weights. He goes to the same gym. You look at him.
I've seen him.
He has feminine features, but you
real
can
nice
still
body.
tell. Yeah, real nice body.
I've seen him. Yeah,
but he's not out there causing a ruckus, and he takes showers and everything now. It's a matter of respect. And Ding-a-ling Man was not trying to respect nobody.
Yeah. Well, here's another scenario, and I just had to look it up, right? Because as we're talking, right? So this is an incident that we're dealing with and having a conversation with right now. However, Sarah McBride, she's a transgender woman. She's a representative for the state of Delaware. When she first got to Congress, I remember it being an issue where the gentleman was worried in terms of which restroom she was going to use. And again, they don't have a distinction between trans, non-binary, unisex rest area. They have male and female. Again, I think that's a conversation that we're going to have to continue to have until we as these United States make a change, a difference in terms of that. There's some people, it's going to be some people, who in the comments, they're going to be complaining about, well, I don't want my kids, they're going to go down to the schools and churches and all of
that. Teaching them at home. So it's like, shut up.
But my point is, so she has had to deal with something along this lines. And if I recall correctly, and it hasn't been in the news lately because it was just an issue when she first got there. But I remember an interview or something that she had done sometime after that. And she's like, I make it a point to try not to have to go to the restroom while I'm there.
And
now that is crazy to me. Now I gotta hold my urine all day because I don't want to feed nobody.
But that is the tone of most transgenders. They try to avoid. They would do damage to themselves to avoid situations like that. Not the ones that's antagonizing it. Yeah, you're looking for a reason. Yeah. Not only that, I think that's the same one that as soon as they went away with the preferred pronouns, they kept calling her sir while she was on the house floor.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm gonna say it the way I want to say it.
Oh,
that's how white people are. If for them to not, they just don't want to give anybody a level of respect that they earn or have, because it was the Congress guy was on the doing an interview with this black lady, and she's a medical doctor.
Okay.
So instead of him saying Dr. Smith, so Joanne, she would say it's Dr. Smith. So Joanne, it's she corrected him so many times in that interview. It's in them.
Yeah.
So this whole pronoun thing, because it causes them to move out of what's comfortable for them.
I get it.
It's the same thing how they'd rather give you a nickname or change your name to make it comfortable for them.
Yeah.
If my mama named me Joanna Scotsy, then you need to learn how to say it.
Yeah.
And I had this conversation with a couple of my African friends, and I asked them, what's your African name? Now, granted, I can't say it either because I mess it up.
Yeah.
Then the next thing is, what is your American name? Oh, it's Isaac. But because what they do is they teach their children, to avoid them putting a stigma. Let me give you a regular name too.
Okay.
This is the name you use. That's not fair. Because if they can say Einstein, in other words, they should be able to say your name if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
And my whole point is same thing with pronouns. Unless they don't want to, because they feel that it's inconveniencing to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It happened at McDonald's with this white lady, and the young lady behind the counter, she has breasts, but she's transgender.
Okay.
Her name tag says Lily. So the white lady, sir, okay, young man. She said, my name is Lily. Well, sir, I don't have to do. I didn't say you had to call me him, hers, or she. I said, my name is Lily. So Lily said, well, here your food, sir. And she got mad and complained to the manager.
Yeah.
Well, it's being rude to your customer. And the manager said, well, we don't like for you to insult our employees either. Her name is Lily.
Yeah.
It's just inherently in people to not.
I get that. And I feel like those are the honorary good old boys. We'll say that. So here's the last question, and I know we're about to wrap up here. How would you suggest engaging in hard conversations like this one, right? Because there's some people who may be at home who are in the community, right? Well, in my opinion, we're all in the same community. However, I do understand that the trans people want to separate and have their own, right? I get that to some degree. But for right now, we're under the same alphabet.
We're the same umbrella here.
How do we engage in conversations that are difficult, but know that they have to happen, right? Because I don't want to be disrespectful to, my cousin, right? If we break it down in that way, or my auntie or whatever, and vice versa. I want them to be respectful to me, right? They've been kind of pitting us together or against one another for years because separation causes, lack of power.
Right.
We as a community, how do we have or engage in difficult conversations?
I'm going to say, accept the differences first to be able to come to the table, and leave offense and defense on the back table.
I love
because this is a hard conversation to explain to another transgender that this is not transphobic. They are perceiving it as being transphobic because she said he got his big D out. You're taking it, but you're not seeing it. You're seeing it from your hurt view.
Okay.
Your not accepted view, your rejected view. You're taking it from there. You're not seeing how his actions played the biggest role in this. And I think that is a conversation across the board that us in our community need to have first.
Sure.
Because we can't fight for you if you're not going to understand that we're not going to be able to, you mad with your sister. Well, I'm still fight for it, but we ain't got to talk tomorrow.
Yeah.
We can't have that type of family relationship.
Yeah.
We need to understand, and you have to, if you're going to walk your truth out, you have to know there's not going to be roses and sunshine.
Absolutely. Good point.
It's not. We have to know our community as a whole has an enemy.
Yeah.
We can't be the enemy within. So if you're mad at her because you feel she was transphobic, you have to, how they tell you in the court, you have to prove some level of hate for it to be a hate crime.
Mm-hmm.
Did she say white, whatever? Then that would have been a hate crime because she called him out by color.
Mm-hmm.
Did she call him some tranny? She didn't say that. Then you would have she didn't say any of that. So the conversation that needs to be had is, let's put offense and defense aside and understand that it's a lot of unspoken rules, but let's talk about what the rules are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And how we move forward.
Because it has to happen with us first.
Yeah.
Because this is a lesbian versus a trans.
Uh-huh.
Overall, it's still white or black, but it's still a lesbian versus a trans. We need to have the communication, the community to have an understanding before we can tell them what the understanding is.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. The only thing I would add to that is that anytime you're having difficult conversations, lead from a place of love.
Right.
And when you leave from a place of love, regardless of whether you guys are going to agree at the end of the conversation, I can at least express that I have love for you and the love that I have for myself. That's a basic level of respect. And
Right.
from there, you and I can talk and we can have our conversations and disagree, and we can agree on certain things. But at the very least, we can have this conversation and not continue to shy away from it, because that will continue to divide us. And I think
Exactly. And we need to stand together. Now
Yeah.
they're saying that with passports, you have to go by what you was assigned at birth.
Yeah.
It's a lot, and we can't hold off the war outside if we're doing this type of war on the inside.
Yeah. Yeah. We're stronger together.
Trust me, we're so much stronger together.
Well, listen, we're going to always encourage everybody to keep a regal mindset. I hope that you've enjoyed this conversation that we've had tonight. If you want to add to the conversation, please drop us a note in the comments and or on any of our social media platforms. We would love to hear your feedback. And outside of that, Jay, you got anything else?
No, keep a regal mindset, and we're in this together.
Okay. All right. So Anthony, go ahead and watch the playback. It's on YouTube and it should be on Facebook as well. So you can start from the beginning, but we would love to hear your feedback in terms of what we discussed tonight. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So thank you, Jay. I will see you guys. We'll both see you guys next week. Oh, let me also say this. If you are in Columbus or in Ohio and you have hats, gloves, scarves, and blankets, please meet me. We have a brunch event on November the 16th. That's a Sunday at the Double Take Bar and Grill. We're going to be there from noon to 4 o'clock. So we're taking those donations so that we can contribute them and give them out to the homeless people in the area. There's also an event, I forget where it's at, but there's just follow us on social media.
Right.
Because I don't want to do the wrong
donations.
Okay, I appreciate that, Jay. Anyone else, please inbox me if you want to send them physically. I'll give you an address. But if you're in Ohio, come have brunch with us. All right. Y'all take care. Have a good weekend.